Hey buddy, this is Швед, и если вы хотите посмотреть русскоязычную версию этого гайда, ссылочка внизу. And if you're an English speaker, then welcome to the Anomic team or team burner guide from Швед, Juan Mares, and let's begin. Well, so now we decided that this is the English version of the guide about Anomic teams. And before moving to mission footages and fits and so on, I would like to mention a few things about the video itself. Actually, it's only three things. And the first thing is why do I make this video and what do I make it for? The second thing is what are Anomic teams or team burners, and the third thing is what's not gonna be in this video. If you don't wanna spend your time on this intro, you may move on. I will make navigation milestones and chapters for that. And now to the first thing, the first question, why I decided to make this video. Now I use burner missions including Anomic teams or burner teams as my main source of ISK and EVE, but when I was just a beginner, I've studied a lot of guides, video guides, text guides about this aspect of PvE. And what I've realized is that even the best existing guides without naming have some problems. For example, some of those are too focused on single ships solutions, while having two or more pilots under your control give you a wide options in tactic. Some of those have overpriced fits. Some of those are locked on one single ship and just give you various fits for the same ship. And the main problem is that most of the guides are poorly optimized for dangerous space, especially 0-0 space. So to the second question, the second thing, what's Anomic missions? Anomic missions are level 4 missions that your agent may offer to you. Anomic missions offer much more loyalty points as a reward than regular level 4 missions, especially in a dangerous space like 0-0 space or low sec. Almost all Anomic missions you can finish in no time, and usually you need a frigate or a destroyer, which is also very good for low sec or 0-0 space, but without proper preparation and tactic there is almost a zero probability of a success. And the last thing is what's not gonna be on this video. I do Anomic missions for a long time now, and I've tried a lot of tactics, fits, and ships, and some of those are really good, but due to survivability and ISK efficiency, they're not so good for dangerous space and hard to optimize. So I will give you the fits of those ships, but there will be no footages of me making missions in this exact video, maybe later. So, the first footage I would like to show you in this guide is really a basic thing. We're using Imperial Navy Slicer. You may stop the footage to copy the fit. It has beam lasers, which are long range. We have AB, and also we have a jammer. So I ain't do anything special, I just hit the acceleration gate button to activate it, and I hit the jammer, which we're gonna need for our mission. And first thing I do when I land on the grid inside the mission is I select the Vengeance, which is the main burner ship in this group, and I switch on my prop mode, and then I hit the keep it range button. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select one of those. No, I just check if keep it range is right, and then I start
jamming one of those logis. And then I instantly apply my turrets, my damage to another one. So what happens when you jam the logi or any of ships in this comp? It just turns around and starts burning away from you. You see, I've just lost the lock on the target because now this logi ship is making a lot of range somewhere to Narnia. Uh, he's gonna turn around, but we're not gonna let him get back. So we just start to do as much damage on the second logi as we can. That's why I switch lenses to standards to enlarge my optimal range, and just keep shooting the other logi, while the second one is 75 kilometers away from us and like 40 plus kilometers away from his vengeance. So okay, the first Inquisitor is in low armor. It's gonna die in a second. We're just waiting for it, and then we'll see if we just kill the vengeance or we gonna do something about the second logi. If you check the overview, you may see that still vengeance is on our optimal range, like 25 kilometers or so. The second logi is 65 away from us. That means that 40 plus away from the vengeance, and he cannot actually do anything about the damage we apply to the burner ship. So we just start to shoot the burner ship to finish the mission. And the second Inquisitor, he's trying to come closer in time, but I'm pretty sure that he won't be able to do it. We're just gonna kill the vengeance and finish the mission. So what is bad about this fit and this whole strategy? First thing is the ECM mechanic itself, because it is always like gambling. Sometimes you get a successful attempt right from the first time, like we had here, by the way. Sometimes you need 10 or maybe even 20 attempts to occur a successful jam. So the second bad thing is that Slicer has only one slot for jammer, and we gotta refeed this module every time we face another burner. Like if we know that we're gonna make a mission against Enyo, we gotta feed Calenti jammer. If we face Vengeance, we fit Amar jammer, and so on. So now I'm gonna just check the loot, and it is some crappy Tech 1 modules, and finish the mission. I've already mentioned in previous chapter that ECM is always like gambling, and to prove this to you, I decided to take another footage on the same ship. We have the same slicer with beam lasers and so on. Coyote fits, but the difference is that this time we have a Kildari jammer because we're gonna face Hawk, and you will see that the thing's gonna be messy right from the beginning. Okay, as we land on grid, we see Hawk just 8 kilometers from us, or maybe 7, yeah, 7. So I just start to pull range as soon as possible to try get away from Scrum and Web. Fortunately, I have an afterburner, so it isn't affected by Scrambler. Otherwise, I die. This is what happens when you re-enter the mission. When you enter the first time, then warp out for some reason and come back, you may sometimes get into a situation like this. So I start my first ECM attempt on the Bantam, and meanwhile I just hit the Hawk. apply some damage to it, but nothing really happens. So the footage speed is now double, and I will just keep trying to jam one of those bantams and kill another one, as we do always using this strategy. Well, it looks like the first successful attempt we have on this bantam, but for some reason he stay where he was and do not try to pull range. So I decided to maybe switch targets, and I started to hit the second bantam and jam the third target, but no success. Another one, no success. Just wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. I just keep my guns on the second target while trying to apply ECM to the third target. So as soon as I manage to get a successful jump attempt on the third target, the second one's gonna die faster. And so you remember that we still have the double footage speed right now. So another attempt, waiting for cycle, hitting the bantam, waiting for another run, and now we have it. Yeah. So we have a successful ECM attempt on this bantam, but for some reason he doesn't turn around and go to Narnia. So we just gonna kill the bantam that isn't jammed as soon as possible, and then we just gonna try to kill another one and then go to Hawk. So now we have only one logi in grid, which means that he cannot heal himself because it doesn't work on anomic team missions like that. Ships do not heal themselves, they can only receive reps from other ships in this group. So we just gonna wait until this bantam dies and then start to apply our damage to Hawk, because yes, Navy Slicer is a cool ship. It is cheap, kitey, has really good agility, and so on. But still, Slicer doesn't have enough damage to break through even one logi. So you still need this ECM glitch to get rid of one of those. Now we're just gonna kill the Hawk, which is the only remaining ship. So this was really a basic, well-known way to make anomic team missions. We use Slicer in these footages, but there are some other easy accessible ships that we can also use for such a strategy. So what I've shown you was a lucky round with a basic slicer, then an unlucky round with a basic slicer. Now we're gonna just finish this Hawk and then move on to something more interesting and advanced, like duo setups and so on. So blap. This setup I've taken from Chinese guys and I modified it a bit. This is actually two retributions, like retribution duo. And you see my main account is sitting on the main screen, and the second account is in the smaller screen on bottom left corner. Just watch it. Okay, I just entered the mission by both my accounts. The first thing I do when I land on grid, I select enyo, set keep it range, and then I switch my prop mod on. Then I just keep it range my second window on the first window. I mean, all the retributions are anchored, actually. Now I just lock enyo by my main account. Then I select one of those navitases and I broadcast by clicking X click on the target to broadcast the target for my second account, because there are two Navitases, and I don't want to spend my time on locking the wrong one, because I'm gonna kill just one, and then I'm gonna break through the tank of the enemy itself. Now you may see my standard retribution fit for 0 space mission running. I use it for Anomic teams only, and it suddenly has a PvP modules fitted. This is just because sometimes I decide to kill the camp which is trying to catch me, thinking that I'm just a innocent crab and I'm harmless and so on. So sometimes I just kill the campers, like it. So now we're just breaking through the tank of Navitas by damage only, no jamming, no such a things. So it is not so fast, but really effective. And you just turn on your guns and then wait. You may take your hands off the keyboard and so on. Just wait for it to happen. Well, one of those Navitases is blapped, so I just switch target right into the burner enyo, and as you see, it's starting to lose its armor, and the second Navitas has no chance to keep it alive. And soon this enyo is gonna die. The good thing about this retributions is that they're insanely cheap, so you just gotta run one or two more missions to replace the isks that you spent on this ship. And the second good thing is that this setup you may scale. So normally I don't use two retributions. Instead of those, I use 3 retributions, which lets me just to break right through the tank of any team burner. Anomic team burner like enyo or any other. Jaguar, Hawk, especially Hawk. Well, so now we're almost finished with this mission, and we gonna move to the next one, which is really interesting. Crappy loot again. Sad. Really sad. The tactic we're gonna see in this footage I call guristas backstabber, and this is cause we use the worm, which is guristas faction pirate ship. Feel free to stop the video to see the fits, but what we have here is 2 jammers, MWD for prop mod, a cap recharger for semi-cap stability. We have all the jammers in cargo. We have modules for drone damage and some for jamming. So we have no tank at all, and also I gotta mention that you may adapt your damage profile by just switching the drones in your drone bay. For example, now I have Imperial Navy Acolytes in my drone bay, but I also have some in cargo, so I could switch those. Now I just hit the jump button, activate the gates, and then I just type the Cupid range distance into a string, press OK, then I land on grid and switch to the NPC tab in my overview to find the target easily. Now I activate my prop module, keep it range the target, and then I start to jump the burner itself. My drones are now in aggressive mode, but I just recall them because I don't want them to die too fast. This burners switch to drones and then they eat drones really fast. I need these drones, I like them, so I just keep trying to apply a successful ECM attempt on this Hawk. I check the keep it range distance, then I apply one more, and it looks like it is successful. So now I just press F multiple times to attack the burner by my drones. And as you see, I keep following the hawk, but it just goes away from its own lodges. So I just jammed the hawk itself to make him run away from his lodges. And then I applied my drones to the burner itself. Now you may see my Imperial Navy Acolyte is dying, but the good thing about this ship, and almost all the guristas ships, that they launch less drones but with more DPS and more HP. So this Imperial Navy Acolytes has more HP than Tech 2, and with the ship bonuses they have a lot of HP. So it takes a lot of time for burner to eat those drones. This also, oh my god, I got a jackpot here, guys. I've cool. Yeah, sometimes you get a really crappy loot from this Anomic team missions, but sometimes you get something like this. I mean, this Caldari Navi invol. This was the method I called guristas backstabber, because you literally stab the burner in the back with your drones. And now let's move on. So now we've seen some basic stuff, some more advanced damage based stuff. By the way, feel free to stop the video to check the fit. Yeah, the previous chapter was about the sneaky stuff, sneaky tactic called guristas backstabber with a worm in it. Now we move to the some hardcore stuff like 3 retributions at a time. I use those retributions for Anomic teams to run in 0-0 space. And what I do is basically the same thing. So I land in the grid with the first window, the first character. Then I switch on my prop mode and just keep it range the burner itself. Then I anchor my other tunes, my other characters, 50 meters away from the main character, just not to control the position of those ships. Also, this makes my application to the burner a little bit better, because he's just following one of my retributions, and that means that he lowers his transversal speed against me. So I just attack the vengeance without paying any attention to the lodges, and as you see, I do it quite successfully, because the vengeance goes deeper and deeper into armor. As I said before in the previous chapters, if you have more than one character running missions, it gives you some advantages. For instance, instead of using expensive hulls and expensive fits, switching armors and drones according to the mission, you may take a ship setup like this that makes any Anomic team in no time, and also can punch back to any PvPers, or also it is really evasive. I mean, you can easily evade a PvP if you don't want to fight almost all the time. So now we're just gonna check the loot. Pretty sure that it's crappy. Yeah, it's crappy, and move on to the next. So, what do we have here? We have the same setup with 3 retributions in the same fit as in the previous chapter, and this time we're gonna face Hawk. So I just enter the gate with all my 3 characters. You now see only one character, the main. So I land on the mission, I find the Hawk without switching to the tab. I lock it, I switch on my MWD, I do keep it range and start to apply damage. As you see, retributions are now separated, but the second one, which is Hinara, I believe, is already anchored on my first character. As you may see, the third retribution also moves towards formation slowly, and as soon as it anchors, the DPS will rise dramatically, and the hawk's gonna start losing shields really fast. So now the third retribution is almost anchored, and as you see, Hawk is already on half shields, and he's gonna lose his HP really fast. So now he's in low shields almost. Now I expect the armor hit. Yes, there is an armor hit. The second armor hit, and he's in structure, and now he's gonna die. Yeah. So I just turn around, gonna check the loot, and then we gonna move to the next footage, which is gonna be even more interesting and advanced. Yeah. We're gonna combine several tactics all together and see what happens. Okay, I'll just turn to the station, warp to the talk book. Sinus spot is also a good talk book. So here is another run. We're gonna combine two tactics. We have three retributions. You may stop the video to copy the fits. And also we're gonna have a griffin. Griffin is pretty standard. It has no rigs, all the jammers fitted that we need, all the rest are in cargo. Now we're gonna just enter the mission with all the windows, plus the griffin is my friend Ray, and he helps me to create this guide for you guys. So we enter the mission, do old same, you know the drill. So we're gonna just keep a range enyo on 25 kilometers or so. Then we're gonna switch on the MWD, the prop mod, on main account, on main tune. Then I'm gonna just anchor all the rest retributions on my main and start to shoot the enyo burner ship that we gotta kill to finish the mission. This time we have big amount of DPS on field, but our griffin will also help, that's for sure. I start to apply my DPS to burner enyo, and I just wait for Ray to apply his ECM successfully to one of those logis, or maybe even both, and it looks like it worked. So enyo just gonna die in a few volleys, and logis are somewhere too far away to help. So this is how it works when you combine high DPS with electronics. Griffin is great. He has bonuses to the ECM. It is really cheap. You don't need any tunic modules, I mean rigs, and also you may even scout with it. So if you have spare character for it, Griffin's really useful. So here we have another tactic combination. We're gonna see the basic Imperial Navy Slicer from the beginning in a combination with Griffin. Griffin is pretty basic. I've shown this fit in previous footages, and now we just warp to the mission. We land on acceleration gate. Gonna enter it right now. So I'm in a slicer, and my friend Ray is in Griffin. I just enter the mission. Then when I land, I do same old same. Keep it range on main burner. Switch on the prop mode. Just wait for Ray to land, and then I lock. I broadcast one of those inquisitors for Ray to jam. and lock in another one, and then I'm gonna probably lock the vengeance itself. Yeah, looks like that. Then I immediately start applying my damage to it, and then I probably gonna try jam one of those lodges. And it looks like, yeah, I have a successful ECM attempt on this Inquisitor, and it starts to burn away from us in opposite direction, and now we're just sitting here and waiting for Ray to apply a second ECM to another logi to just beat it out of the fleet composition, fleet formation. Okay, I got a fail, but it looks like Griffin did its job, and Vengeance just started to receive a lot of armor damage. I switched to lances that are less that has less optimal range but more DPS and tracking to optimize my damage. Probably I'm gonna just lower the keep it range a bit. Yeah, I just set it on 25 exactly, none less, none more, and we're just waiting here for this vengeance to die. That's how. Oh my god, Ray just died. That's really sad. But never mind. It just Griffin. It cost like 1 million. Lol. So lodges are quite far away. Still trying to catch up with the vengeance, and it just slowly dies. And we're moving to another footage in a second. So, this footage is gonna be the last one in this video. So, there's gonna be another Anomic team run with 3 retributions plus Griffin, but I want to discuss something else. In the very beginning, I told that I've used to run Anomic teams on such ships like Garmurs and Nergals, but I don't use them now. So I want to show you the fits of those ships that you can use to run Anomic team missions, but in my opinion they're overpriced because Garmur hull and Nergal hull cost a lot, and also especially for Garmur you'd prefer faction fit and not the tech one. So you may see another time the retribution. Feel free to stop your video to check the fit. You may see the griffin we're gonna be using. It has nothing special, just signal distortion amplifiers, racial jammers for the exact ships we gonna see on the missions, and also MWD to keep it range the Anomic team. So I do the same thing. I just a little desync here we had. Okay, I just keep it range on Jaguar. This time we have a Jaguar by my main window, and then I anchor all the rest retributions. Ray is just keep it ranging Jaguar himself, and we're gonna do the same thing. I just gonna apply all my DPS to burner, and Ray is gonna use his drummers to distract and make lodges run away somewhere from the burner ship, the Jaguar this time. So I start to apply DPS. I'm anchored. All my retributions are anchored. Ray is keep ranging Jaguar himself and trying to apply his jammers successfully, and now we see that probably at least one of those, at least one of those lodges not trapping jaguar, and it's gonna die under my DPS or in the seconds, I suppose. He's still living for some reason. Not sure why, because it looks like I keep shooting and applying my DPS well. I restart my turrets. Maybe I need to switch the lances. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, I just click the turrets another time. Cycled guns. Let's see what happens. The jaguar is now on half shields. Looks like he's still living. He has no armor at all, but still kinda kicking. Let's see what happens next. I believe it should die really fast right now. Yeah. See, the burst just lost the lock, and that means that he is jammed. So yeah, the jaguar just died as soon as Ray landed his his ECM on one of those bursts successfully. You may see that one of those bursts is still locking me, and another one is now lost his yellow box, his lock. So let's move to the outro, guys. I hope you like the content I recorded for you, and now let's move on to the ending of this video. In the last chapter of this video, I want to give some more ship types and fits, especially for the new pilots that don't want to cancel and skip high reward missions anymore and want to see what's happening there. The first fit's gonna be a comet for Sola for just one single tune. So the fit has a lot of faction modules, but really you can replace almost all the dead space and faction modules except turrets. So I'd recommend to go for Tech 2 turrets, but if you can't use the Tech 2, you can just replace them with faction ones, and you can go for Tech 1 AB and Tech 1 meta named jammers. The good thing about this fit is that you have drones that you can use for even more DPS on lodges. I do not recommend to use it against the burner, because burner kills the drones really fast. And also the good thing is that you have 2 jammers instead of 1 on slicer, so you get twice more attempts for a jam for your successful ECM attempt. The second fit's gonna be a comet, and another comet, but for duo, for 2 pilots. So the tactics is pretty simple. You kill 1 logi with 2 comets, and then you just try to break the burner's tank. If you can't do that, you just kill another one and then kill the burner, vengeance, enyo, jaguar, any hawk. Okay. So this fit is more optimized for dangerous space, because it has micro warp drive instead of AB, and all the rest is pretty simple. You need medium ammo like thorium, or maybe
uranium or something like that. And also feel free to replace the guns for faction ones if you can do tech 2s. And the last feat is gonna be the slicer for team, also the duo, but it can also do solo because it has the jammer. So this fit is pretty similar to the one we had in the footage, but this one has MWD instead of AB. So this one is optimized for dangerous space, 0 space. The MWD is or maybe AB in some circumstances is really good to evade fights that you don't want to be part of in 0 space. If you see that someone's trying to catch you, you just stay cloaked after entering the gate. You enter the gate, you see the camp that wanna catch you, then you just find the gate that you came from, you just hit a line, then you switch on the micro warp drive, and you start to spam the jump button. So almost all the frigates will crash the gate almost instantly, and it gives you an opportunity to jump into the system you came from and then warp out on the other side. So that's the basic tactic, how you evade fights, almost the most fights in 0 space, except insane, not possible camps. So I hope you like this video. I hope this will help you to advance your game. It's Juan Mares, Shved. Check for the next video of this burner guide. I'm gonna make some more about single burners and burner bases and so on. See you next time.